Okay, so we're here. We're back online. Ito po si Roy the Destroyer. Okay, lalabas po natin, mamaya po may proclamation dito sa presidente po ng mga loyalists. Okay, ito po si Bongbong Marcos at Vice Presidente po ng mga DDS na si Sara Duterte. Okay, so panoorin po natin sila at magsasaya sila. Okay? Okay, masayang-masaya. Okay? So magsaya kayo. Enjoy while it lasts. Sabi nga nila. Alright, so put natin. Okay. So okay ba kayo? Yung pink natin dyan. So kayo masyadong pa-affected. Okay, so ito silang inauguration sa June 30 at pinag-iisipan nila kung sa doon nga ito sa sa grandstand po, sa may Luneta grandstand. Gusto sana ni Amy Marcos doon. Kaso, problema, ginawang quarantine facilities yan, kasagsagan ng COVID. So baka ilipat yan, maglipat sila kung saan. At gusto raw ni Bongbong Marcos doon kasi doon raw nanumpa yung tatay niya. Si Ferdinand Marcos. Okay? So, kung saan lang gusto, okay? Wala man tayong magagawa Di ba? Kung anong gusto nila lagi, di ba? Wala tayong magagawa. Gusto nilang manalo, so nanalo sila. Diba? So, gusto lang nila yun. So, wala tayong magagawa. Di ba? They have all the powers, they have all the money. So, kahit anong gusto nila, pwede na gawin. Okay. Share po natin. Baka mayroong nangyayaring aktibidades na rin sa batasan. Batasan ng bansa. Okay. Ganyan sa Quezon City. Okay. So wala pang action masyado. Hinihintay nila siguro nasa saan pa. Okay, ito po ng speech. Okay, so habang hinihintay natin, okay, ang presidente ng mga loyalista at vice-presidente ng mga DDS, tayo ay nakikwentuhan. Okay, so kumusta ba ang mga araw ninyo? Alam kong hindi maganda simula pa gabi, di ba? Okay, so check natin. Kung nakalive na tayo, Okay, guys. So, 8 bayan o 8 syudad ang wala po yung COC doon sa metal ballot box nila. So, yun ang katakataka po. Saan po yun? So, questionableng election to. Napakaraming anomalya at napakaraming questionableng mga pangyayari. Isa-isahin natin, may mga vote buying. Okay, talamak, harapan, mga vote buying, mayroong mga manipulation ng mga ballot, may mga nag-shades, at mayroong dami Mayroong agawan pa ng mga balota, okay, at mayroong tinatapon ng mga balota, pinupunit na balota, okay, at siyempre katakatakang napakabilis na resulta ng halalan ito. It's Guinness Book of Record po. Bilis eh. Di po ba? Okay, so habang hinihintay natin, dito tayo sa batasan. Okay? Batasan, kung sasalita lang itong building na to, eh baka pinagmumura na sila nito. Huwag nyo nga akong gamitin sa mga kalokohan nyo. Sabihin ng building na to. Anyway, yan. Yan yung mga... Ay, nako po. Okay, so may mga naputol tayong segment. Episodes, like may part 2 po yun, ano, yung part 2 po yung ano natin, nadaya tayo. Yung part 2 po yun. Okay, so abangan po natin. So, doon. Bubulahan sila. Ayan, yung mga grupo. Maldes, Arroyo, Bilyar, Subiri, yan sila. Kakamayan sila. Saya-saya nila. Revilla, mga unit tapes. Okay, so sige lang. Mga guys. Okay, so wala pang pangyayari, no? So, habang inaabangan natin. Okay, basahin natin yung sinabi ni Makalintal, ano? Sa isang interview sa radio. Okay, tama na walang sinabi si VP Lane na concede. Okay, linawin ko lang, ano? Kasi iba, nalilito, nag-concede na raw. Hindi pa ako nagpo-concede si VP Lane. Okay, wala siyang sinabing nag-concede. Sa panayam ng, sa totoo lang, ng 1PH, idiniin ni Atty. Romulo Makalintal, Legal Counsel, ni Vice President Leni Robredo, na walang sinasabi ang vice, nag-concede siya. Ang pahayag lang ni Robredo, tinanggap niya ang resulta ng eleksyon. Okay? Tinanggap ang resulta ng eleksyon. Hindi pa ho nag-concede ang ating VP Leni. At hindi po naman obligasyon na mag-concede. Wala pong ganun. Ang second placer. Hindi po obligasyon ng second placer na mag-concede. Okay, tandaan niyo po yan. Wala pong legal obligation yan. Okay? Wala po yan. Hindi po, wala sa batas yan. Okay? So nakakalungkot ng pangyayari nito dahil okay, hindi natin alam kung saan patungo itong bansa natin. Okay? Hindi natin alam kung saan patungo itong bansa natin. Lalo't na nasa 70% na yung ating ratio ng pagkakautang natin at saka itong GDP natin. Nasa critical area na, kumbaga. Okay, so ito, the worst. Itong kay Duterte na gi-exit siya ngayon, di ba? Ito yung pinaka-worst economy. Dahil yung pagkakautang natin mas malaki kaysa doon sa kinikita ng bansa. Okay, so mas malaki po yung ating gastos sa pagbabayad. Pagbabayad pa lang ng utang, kaysa doon sa kinikita natin. Naintindihan niyo. So, yun ang problema. Kung anong gagawin nito ni LBM, ni BBM, kung siya ay mauupo as presidente. So, may solusyon kaya siya dyan. Although, kinuha niya yung balak niya kunin, yung economical chief ni Pinoy dati, no? Okay, at gagawin niya, lalagay niya sa NEDA. Okay. Siguro napansin niya na magaling yung mga kabinete ni Pinoy, di ba? So that's good for the country. Okay, so basta tayo, pinapanalangin natin ang pagiging successful ng ating bayan. Siyempre, bayan natin yan, di ba? Hindi natin pwedeng ipagdasal na maghirap, di ba? So, ipagdasal natin na maging blessed, okay, ating bayan yun, at masolusyonan kung ano man yung mga problema, okay, ng ating bansa. Okay, so yan po yan. Kaso, hindi natin alam kung ano iniisip nitong mga yan, Congress. Parang isang crocodile farm kung papansin ninyo. Ang tingin ko, crocodile farm. Yan. Yan nakikita ko ngayon. Yung nakikita natin, it's a crocodile farm. Okay? So, habang hinihintay natin, wala pang aksyon, tayo muna mag-kwentuhan dito at babati-bati, Okay, sa mga nakaraan nating babatiin natin yung mga nakaraan natin what is this? Mga nanood ng ating vlog, ating videos sa mga nakaraan, at dahil gusto po tayo, hindi po natin nababasa at babasahin ko po. Okay, so okay, ang hirap mong mahalin. Okay, yung sa nadaya tayo, basahin natin yung ating mga vlog. Yan natin ang reaction ng mga tao. Okay, shout out kay Rogelio Blanco Yuzon. Okay, kung sabi niya, lalabas din ang totoo at mananagot ang lahat. Diyos ang bahalang humatol sa kanila. Okay, tama po kayo. Sir Rogelio Blanco Yuzon. Okay. Ito naman, sabi naman ni Anjo de Guzman. Okay. Daya lang talaga nakakatalo kay Lenny. Halatang halata naman sila. Yun, sabi ni Anjo de Guzman. Okay. Ito naman ang sabi ni Ana Micaela Manaloto. Napakasinungaling talaga. Deny ng deny tapos nahuli sa sariling bibig. Okay. Ito siguro yung sabihin nito, si BBM, deny ng deny na hindi siya nag-hire ng troll. Diba? Hindi siya interesado mag-hire ng troll. Tapos sinabi niya, later on, nag-hire siya ng thousands of trolls. Okay. Sabi naman ni Jay Kayuka, Sir Roy, hindi po malinaw ang mic nyo. Parang bumubulong lang. Mababang boses. Okay, pasensya na. Kasi adjustment ko. Okay, ayos natin. Okay, so Lakasan natin siguro yung one o yung high niya ay yung high niya ay high mid na siguro. Okay. Hindi na malakas naman. Okay. Gusto natin ha. Okay, anyway, let's fight and don't let this country die in hands of wrong. Okay, tama. Laban po tayo. Sabi naman ni Gemma Nascal, talagang dinaya tayo dahil halos kaalyado nila pasok. Ang kandemonyohan nila nag-exist talaga. Winner by smart magic, not by gold. Okay, yan ang sabi po ni Gemma Nascal. Okay. Sabi naman ni the best of the world. Okay. Nagtiwala tayo sa Comelec pero niloko lang nila tayo. May dayaan na sa pag-transmit ng mga BCM tapos sa mga resibo din. Dinaya din may mga nakaprint na siguro sa mga balot na yan, okay. Pero yung mga original, tinapon na lang. Basta sa Pangasinan at sa Cavite yan. Ginagawa kung saan talamak ang vote buying. Okay. At natin, ano? Okay, sabi naman ni Florencio Samane, lahat ng paraan gagawin nila, kaya tayong taong bayan ay kumilos na. Hindi parehas itong administrasyon na ito. Mag-alsa tayo. Okay, yan po ang sabi ni Florencio Samane. Okay, ating mga audience diyan, di ba? Okay, sabi naman ni The Alpha. Okay. Alam nyo, anong malaking batayan ng dayaan? Di Alpha, no? Tignan nyo yung magkapatid na Estrada, di ba? Wala yan noong 2019. Ilang paso na yan. Hindi nga ba yung tatay nila isa sa mga supporters ni Marcos? Siyempre, hindi papayag si Erap na hindi makakapasok mga anak niya sa ginagawa nilang dayaan. Okay, sabi ni The Alpha. At sumagot naman to. Okay. Alright. Okay, sabi naman ni magnanakaw si Marcos. Yan, sabi paano yun yung kanyang yun yung kanyang screen name. Magnanakaw si Marcos. Good evening po, sabi niya sa akin siguro. Okay. Josephine Riguera. Thank you, Kuya Roy. God bless po. Okay. Marami rin salamat sa iyo, Josephine, sa pakikinig ng ating programa. Okay, sa mga hindi pa ho nagsasubscribe yan, subscribe na po tayo sa ating isang channel na Roy the Destroyer. Okay? Nag-umpisa pa lang po ang laban ng Roy the Destroyer. Mahaba-haba po itong laban na to. So samahan niyo po ako. Tayo na po. Mag-like na po kayo. Mag-subscribe po kayo. Ring niyo po yung notification bell. Tapos select niyo po yung all. Okay. Then, i-share po natin yung mga video natin i-upload dito. At kaya sinasabi ko sa kanyo na i-ring yung notification bell and then select all kung subscribe kayo para lahat po ng videos at saka live videos katulad nito maibabato kagad namin sa inyo at ma-share nyo rin sa iba para dumami po tayo. Tandaan po natin, sa numbers tayo natalo, which is hindi pa hukunti yun, di ba? Talo tayo, okay? So kailangan po natin magparami. Yun po ang totoo. Okay, update lang po natin, kanina diyan, napansin nyo, si Imelda Marcos at saka yung asawa ni BBM, andyan na po, dumating na po. Okay. Sabi naman ni Love God, what is this? Selfan Nebor. Hanggat hindi patunayang patas, hindi tunay, panalong palabas. Tama. Galing yan. Pamtula. Dolly Ramos. Nako, hindi ko yan. Nako, hindi ko mabasa ito. Hindi ko ibang salita. Okay. Okay. Okay, Dolly Ramos. Okay, hi Sir Roy. Alam mo, may analyst din ako. May analyst din daw siya. No? Sa eleksyon na to, matagal kong pinag-isipan kung paano na lotos si VP Lenny kahit saan anggulo kasi alam ko na dinaya siya. At di lang dinaya siya, akalain mo ba na wala nang gene elections? Hindi ko maintindihan yung sinasabi niya. Okay ma'am, basahin ko na lang po at replyan ko po kayo later. Okay, ito naman sabi ni Bego Bond, Roy Pantur, Diba TV. Ngayon po, Roy the Destroyer ng ating pangalan ng TV, itong ating channel. Kailangan po may ingay sa press. Ang problema, walang nagsasalita. Kahit si Ma'am Lenny, walang sinasabi. Kailangan malaman ng international press. Okay, hindi nagsabi. No? Anyway, kung ano man yan, bahala na. Okay. Okay, the Kayumanggi Club, they took advantage of the pandemic and internet to speed disinformation faster. Huwag kayong maniniwala kay Duterte na ayaw niyang Marcos kasi at some point siya rin may gusto dito sa pandemic na ito. Okay, so sabi naman ni Arlene, mahirap pong tanggapin na talo tayo sa hocus-pocus na bilangan pero hindi sa botohan. Pero po, thankful pa rin kasi naisip ko po na si VP Lenny umupo ngayon, isisisi na naman nila ang paghihirap nila kay VP. Let them know na tama po si Jose Rizal. Hindi ito takot sa mananakop, kundi sa mga kamangmangan ng kanyang kababayan. Wow, yung sabi ng Jose Rizal. Okay. So wala pa rin sounds. Anyway, abang-abang lang tayo. No? Yan na, dumating na si Lucy Torres. Isa sa mga sinusuporta. Pahit niya ngayon na. Pahit niya ata. Okay. Okay. Sabi naman niya, humahabol. Si Emilia Marteja. Ay, si Marcos, dating LP. Okay. Yung kumandidato po siya ng 59 po yata. Something. Okay, LP po siya. Okay, so wala tayong habang hinihintay natin, magpalabas muna tayo ng mga Marcos. Marcos, habang hinihintay natin. Okay, stop share ko muna to. At halukayin muna natin ang ating archive. Okay, doon sa naputol na Marcos, nakaraang pinapalabas natin. Okay, babalikan natin later on. Tayo ay pasok naman sa ating abang. hinihintay itong si Presidente ko na si Bongbong Marcos. Okay. All right. Mahina ang aking internet naman. Problema. Tagal-tagal lang ho tayo. Okay, so habang naghihintay po tayo, mali lang po na mag-subscribe po tayo sa ating channel. Kailangan po natin. Okay, ang bagal ng ating internet. Okay, so wala pa rin. Wala pa rin silang audio doon sa batasan. Ano? Okay, so palabas po natin. Nahuhukay lang natin sa ating archive. Okay, so bago natin ilabas, okay, ganito yung itsura nila. Okay. Bago yan sila Boeing Limulian, Subiri. Okay, ganito ang kanilang itsura. Bago natin ilabas mo na yun. Magalaw talaga ang internet to. Okay, so labas natin yung okay, so let's see. So, kung gusto niyo mag-scroll down ho kayo dyan at para makita niyo okay, yung mga vlog natin. Okay, with regards to sa ating mga inilalabasan. Malayo. Ilabas ko muna yun, no? Yung legacy po ng Pilipino.
Namang sa kanyang Asia's Rising Tiger, Asia's Rising Star, at Asia's Bright Spot.
Alala lang po ito sa inyo na ano po yung nagawa ng ating mahal na Presidente Pinoy. Habang hinihintay po natin yung proklamasyon, EVM.
Pilipinas nabansagan ng Asia's Rising Tiger, Asia's Rising Star, at Asia's Bright Spot. Sumagi man lang ba sa isip ninyo na magtutuloy-tuloy ang pag-angat natin sa Global Competitiveness Rankings at magiging tanyag tayo dahil sa bilis ng paglago ng ating ekonomiya? Ngayon, ang Pilipinas nabansagan ng Asia's Rising Tiger, Asia's Rising Star, at Asia's Bright Spot. Tingnan po natin. Noong taong 2010, nasa $1.07 billion lang ang net foreign direct investments na pumasok sa ating bansa. Noong 2014, tumalo na ng $6.2 billion ang net foreign direct investments. Taon-taon, mahigit 800,000 ang mga bagong pasok sa ating labor force. Idagdag na rin po natin dyan ang naiulat na pagkaunti ng overseas Filipinos. Noong taong 2011, nasa 9.51 million ang naitalang overseas Filipinos ayon sa Department of Foreign Affairs. Sa huling datos naman ng Desyembre ng taong 2014, nasa 9.07 million na lang ito. Hindi kalabisang isiping marami sa tinatayang 440,000 na bawas sa kanila ay bumalik sa Pilipinas at nakahanap ng trabaho. Bagamat may bagong salta sa merkado, may balikbayan at dati nang walang trabaho, ang unemployment rate bumaba sa 6.8% noong nakaraang taon. Ito ang pinakamababa sa loob ng isang dekada.
Okay, so yan po si Pinoy, di ba? Ang kanyang legacy. So huwag po natin kakalimutan yan. So ang dami po niya nagawa at yan po hindi po yan salita, kundi yan po tunay na gawa. Okay, so wala pa rin audio sila ron. So ang gagawin natin ipapalabas naman natin si Bibilen yung nasayang na dapat siya siya dapat sarapan dapat. Okay? Hindi na pamulo.
Sa tuwing matakluban ng langit, may pag-asang
Hindi nga.
binibigay ang mga nasa laylayan.
Hindi nga. Okay? So, natin ito.
Inaangat ang buhay.
Okay. So, habang hinihintay po natin, balik po tayo dito sa batasan. Tingnan natin kung ano nangyayari sa batasan. At sino mga personalidad ang dumating na sa batasan. Okay. Okay, so pwesta sila dyan. Alright. So far, wala pa rin. Ha? Wala pa rin talaga. At hanggang mga nandyan, yun pa rin. Parang isang crocodile farm pa rin. Nandyan. Nakikita. Anyway, so, okay. Mukhang matatagalan to. Ang balak natin gawin, okay, maglabas tayo. Kasi mabagal ang ating internet. Hindi tayo maglabas na.
Your Honors, good afternoon.
Ayan na,
We
dumating
will start in 5 minutes. Could you please settle down? Thank you.
5 minutes daw. Mag-umpisa sila. Nakabalik na tayo. Mabilis na. Tatawa muna tayo. Tatawa muna tayo. 5 minutes daw. So, babalik tayo within 5 minutes. So, ito yung mga pakiramdam. Ganito yung kanilang. Okay. Okay, so. Okay, balikan na natin doon. Wala pa nito. Okay, so balikan natin. Okay, nag-upuan na sila. Ayan, nakatayo, di ba? Guys. Ngayon, nakaupo na sila. Okay. Hintayin nila yung kanilang presidente. At saka vice-presidente. Okay. In 5 minutes daw, umpisa na sila. Wala pa rin. Ha? Alam niyo po ba kanina, diyan sa batasan, sa labas ng batasan, okay, may mga nagrarally dyan, mga nagprotesta. Okay, sa Proclamation, itong si BBM at si Sara. Alam niyo po ba ang ginawa nila ng mga riot police? Ha? Binomba po sila ng tubig, ng bumbero. Yun po, kabasa-basa sila. Gusto silang i-disperse. Okay? Okay, pero itong mga kababayan natin ay lumalaban. Ha? Kahit bombahin sila, hindi sila umaalis. Okay? Sila po ay dapat natin tularan sa totoo lang. Ano? So, tayo ay magpalakas po ng hanay. Okay? Para pag dumating ang tunay na laban, ay handa po tayong lumaban. Lahat. Okay? So, okay, mag-umpisa na. Kasalita na yung ano.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the part of the Senate, the Joint Committee meeting is resumed. On the part of the House, the Joint Committee is resumed. On the part of the Senate, may I solicit the approval of our members of the Joint Committee report on the canvass of votes for the presidential and vice presidential candidates in the May 9, 2020 elections, and the accompanying resolution of both houses. Those who are in favor of the approval of the Joint Committee report and the adoption of the resolution of both houses, part of the Senate, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it, ladies and gentlemen. On the part of the Senate, the Joint Committee report is approved with the accompanying resolution of both houses is adopted. On the part of the House, may I solicit the approval of our members of the Joint Committee report on the canvass of votes for the presidential and vice presidential candidates in the May 9, 2022 elections and the accompanying resolution of both houses. Those who are in favor of the approval of the Joint Committee report and the adoption of its accompanying resolution of both houses, please say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. On the part of the House, the Joint Committee report is approved and its accompanying resolution of both houses is accepted. The House Secretary General and the Senate Secretary are directed to submit the Joint Committee report and the accompanying resolution of both houses to the joint public session immediately after the members of the Joint Committee have signed the report. Thank you very much, my dear co-chair. On the part of the Senate, before just an announcement, right after we adjourn this joint committee meeting, we will resume our joint session of Congress. So on the part of the Senate, the joint committee meeting is hereby adjourned. On the part of the House, the joint committee meeting is adjourned. The picture na kanina. Walang makapasok. Get my stop, boss.
Ito, naman yung ano, First Lady. Dumi ng bala. Mas makinis pa sa Imelda. Ay, nako. Yan ang audio nila. Okay, sa mga hindi pa nagsasubscribe na ating mga nakikinig yan, okay, at sa mga makikinig nito, okay, later on, mag-subscribe na po kayo. No? Para dumami po tayo. Okay, para mapalawak po natin itong ating ginagawa. No? Okay, para sa bayan. Okay, labanan po natin itong mga disinformation na kumakalat. Ang napakarami ngayon pinapakalat na mga maling impormasyon. Tingin ko nagdoble-doble ngayon eh. So, kailangan po natin, okay? Encourage ko rin po kayo, mag-vlog na rin kayo. Ha? So, gawin nyo na yung mga kaya nyo gawin para po mapigilan natin itong mga, disinformation na to at saka yung revise yung ating history. Okay, so mag-vlog na rin po kayo katulad ko. Madali lang mo mag-vlog. Meron lang kayong laptop. O even sa cellphone nyo, pwede na. Facebook Live o kaya dito sa YouTube. Pwede rin po. Okay, so gamit po kayo ng OBS, StreamYards. Pwede rin po yan. Ako, gamit ko Zoom lang. Okay, so yun po. So, encourage ko kayo na mag-vlog rin. Kailangan mas marami tayo. Habang mas marami tayo, mas boses natin mas lalakas. Hindi po ba? And then, i-share po natin. Okay, hindi lang po akong vlogger. Marami pong katulad natin na vlogger. Share po natin ng i-share yung mga videos. Okay, katulad nito. Para lumawak po, para magkaroon tayo ng ingay. Okay? Okay, ingay na yan. Kahit maliit yan. Okay. Kahit maliit yung ingay na yan. Okay, nakakaano sa kanila yan. Nakakasakit ng ulo nila yan. Okay? So, huwag tayo matakot. Hindi dapat tayo natatakot. Okay, subscribe po tayo sa ating channel, Roy the Destroyer. Okay, so para ma-ko sa inyo na mas marami pa at masabaybayan din ninyo ang ating channel. Along the way, mahaba-haba po yung ating lalakbayin. It's a long game po. Okay, it's a long game. So, kailangan po tayo po magtulungan. Okay? So, mukhang mabigat po ang ating laban dito. Kasi lahat ng kalaban natin. Lahat ng kaupo ngayon. So, okay, tutulan natin yung mga dapat tutulan. Okay? Sa administrasyon ito na darating at kung maganda naman yung ginawa, purihin natin. No problem. Di ba? Pag hindi maganda yung ginawa, tutulan natin at sitahin natin, di ba? So yun po ang ating tungkulin, okay, sa bayan. So huwag po natin kakalimutan yan, mga nakikinig sa atin. Okay, so kung hanggang saan itong gobyernong ito, administrasyon ito, kung hanggang saan, hindi po natin alam. Okay, ang Diyos lang po ang mga pagsasabi nito. Okay, siya lang po ang may last say, kumbaga, o plano. Okay, kung ano yung plano niya is definitely it's better, much better than our plan. So, yan mo natin ang Diyos na magplano para sa atin. Anyway, dumating na po si Tito Soto at saka si Speaker Velasquez. Velasquez ba yun? Velasco pala.
On the part of the Senate, the joint public session is resumed.
On the part of the House of Representatives, the joint public session is resumed.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, on the part of the Senate, I move for the consideration of the report of the Joint Committee and its accompanying resolutions of both houses. Number 1, proclaiming the candidates obtaining the highest number of votes for President and Vice President.
there any objection? Chair hears none. Consideration is in order.
Majority Leader is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the House of Representatives, I move for the consideration of the report of the Joint Committee and its accompanying resolution of both Houses number 1, proclaiming the candidates obtaining the highest number of votes for President and Vice President.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the report of the Joint Committee and the resolution of both Houses number 1.
Report of the Joint Committee for the canvassing of votes for the presidential and vice presidential candidates in the May 9, 2022 elections. Resolution of both Houses number 1, entitled Resolution of both Houses approving the report of the Joint Committee declaring the results of the national elections held on May 9, 2022 for the office of the President and Vice President and proclaiming the duly elected President and Vice President of the Philippines.
Thank you. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. May be recognized to sponsor the said measure.
Majority Leader is recognized as chair of the joint panel.
Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues in the Senate, the House of Representatives, ladies and gentlemen, what we have witnessed in the last national and local elections, for me, was one of the most credible, orderly, and peaceful in our elections history.
Wow.
Don't just take it from me, as this is reflected in the assessments of different media outfits, election watchdogs, and civil society organizations, including the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting.
Wow.
Just more than 2 weeks after the May 9, 2022 elections, we are about to proclaim the duly elected President and Vice President of the Republic. Quite fast indeed. The result of this election is historical in several ways. First, it has the highest number of votes cast in our nation's election history, with an 82% voter turnout, totaling 55,197,306 votes. Second, Mr. President, since the 1987 Constitution, this is the first time that we elected a majority president and vice president.
Wow.
A phenomenon indeed
Patawa.
in a multi-party system under a presidential Republican government. The duly elected president garnered a total of 58.77% of the total votes cast in the last May 9, 2022 elections.
Wow.
And the duly elected vice president gathered a total of 61.53% of the total votes cast.
Wow.
And third, the canvassing of Congress in joint public session took only 2 days to finish. And I would like to take note that this canvassing is the fastest in our nation's history of elections.
Wow.
Another milestone for Philippine Congress. However, we would like to emphasize, we did not sacrifice transparency and the authenticity of the results for a speedy count. The process was hastened due to several factors. Early on in the canvassing of the Joint Committee, we appreciated the manifestation of the counsels of several presidential and vice presidential candidates. Notably, the counsel for Vice President Leni Robredo, a presidential candidate who manifested that they have a continuing manifestation that they interpose no objection for the canvassing of all COCs brought before us in this body. The same manifestation was made of record by the counsel of Vice Presidential candidate Senator Kiko Pangilinan and presidential candidate Mayor Isko Moreno. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a magnificent show of statesmanship on their part, and we sincerely thank them for that. It shows the importance of uniting as a people and healing the emotional wounds brought about by this very emotionally charged election. The Joint Committee consensuously examined the certificates of canvass, both the manually transmitted and the printed copy of the electronically transmitted COCs, and painstakingly determined their authenticity and due execution, as required by law and by our rules. The canvassing went on smoothly, except for some instances when the manually prepared certificates of canvass
Wow!
were not found in the ballot boxes submitted to us or submitted to the Senate President by several provincial election supervisors and city election officers. Thus, under our rules, we summoned the concerned provincial election supervisors and city election officers to explain the non-inclusion of the COCs in their submission to the Senate President and asked them to locate the COCs and bring them henceforth to Congress. I have in many times in public expressed my frustration for such failure during the proceedings of the Joint Committee. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, in this juncture, I would like to urge the Commission on Elections to take remedial steps to ensure that these glaring mistakes would not happen again, hopefully in 2028. For the record, the Joint Committee did not want to sacrifice the accuracy and the count, nor disenfranchise any province nor LGU from this historic process. That is why we even waited for the results of the special elections of Lanao del Sur and several overseas absentee voting areas to complete the canvass of votes. Another factor which truly helped make the canvassing of votes so efficient, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, was the masterful handling of my co-chair, the Honorable House Majority Leader Martin Romualdez. I would like to say this, ladies and gentlemen. He never left his post throughout the proceedings, not even for lunch, not even for dinner, not even a bathroom break. He truly leads Congress by example, and I salute you, sir. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank the hardworking members of this Joint Committee, my colleagues from the Senate, Senator Nancy Binay, Senator Franklin M. Drilon, Senator Amy Marcos, Senator Ralph Recto, Senator Grace Poe, Senator Pia Cayetano, and our alternate members, Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Coco Pimentel, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, and our colleagues as well from the House of Representatives, Congressman Jesus Crispin Remulla, Representative Abraham Tolentino, Representative Christine Singson Mihan, Representative Sharon Garin, Representative Manuel Manix Dalipe, Representative Juliet Ferrer, and alternate members, Representative Juan Pablo Bondoc, Representative Johnny Pimentel, Representative Alfredo Garbin, and Representative Stella Kimbo. With that, Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, it is my distinct honor and privilege to sponsor the report of the Joint Committee of the Canvass of Votes for presidential and vice presidential candidates in this historic May 9, 2022 national and local elections. The Joint Committee, Your Honors, canvassed a total of 171 COCs from provinces, highly urbanized cities, local absentee voting, overseas absentee voting, and found all of them to be authentic and duly executed. The results, Your Honor, of the canvass shows that Ferdinand Bong Romualdez Marcos Jr. obtained the highest number of votes for the position of president, garnering a total of 31,629,783 votes. With a lead of 16,594,010 votes over the second placer. On the other hand, Madam Inday Sara Zimmerman Duterte obtained the highest number of votes for vice president with 32,208,417 votes, with a lead of 22,879,210 votes over her closest opponent. Allow me to add, Mr. President, matagal-tagal na rin po ako sa politika at maraming eleksyon na rin po ang aking napagdaanan, both local and national elections. At ngayon lang po ako nakakita nitong dalawang kandidato kapag nagmo-motorcade ay kilo-kilometro po ang taong nag-aabang. Sa kaitwikan ng araw, kainitan ng araw at hindi alintana ang init. May mga rallies din po kami na kasaganan ay nag-uulan at nananatili po ang tao. Yan ang masasabi natin, umulan na tumaraw man ay kasama pa rin po natin ang ating mga kababayan. May mga kaugnayan po tayo na pamilya ang nag-aabang at nagdadala pang sariling baon para sa kanilang tanghalian. Mga galing sa kanayunan, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, talagang nakakamangha at ngayon ko pulang nasaksihan na ganyan na pagtanggap sa ating mga kababayan sa ating dalawang kandidato. In this election, truly, Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, President-elect Bong Marcos and Vice President-elect Sara Duterte were truly rock stars. However, the greater task of the victors today is to unite our countrymen for nation building. That begins today. This weighs heavy on their shoulders. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, Ecclesiastes 3 says, there is a time for everything. For everything there is a reason, and a time for every matter under heaven. Today, let me urge our kababayans, sa ating mga kababayan na nakikinig po na yun, that it is a time to heal from this divisive campaign. It is a time to respect the will of the majority of our electorate. And most importantly, it is a time to unite for the welfare and progress of our people and rally behind our flag and our country. Mr. President, with an overwhelming victory of our President-elect Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. and Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, I am convinced that the Filipino electorate heeded the clarion call to unite for progress and to get out of the suffering caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. It is a resounding affirmation of the Filipinos' desire to move forward and jumpstart our economy. And finally, today is a triumph of our democracy. Mabuhay ang ating demokrasya. Maraming salamat po.
The Majority Leader of the House of Representatives is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, may I be recognized to sponsor the report of the Joint Committee.
The Majority Leader and Chairperson of the House Panel of the Joint Committees is recognized to deliver his sponsorship speech.
Mr. Senate President, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, guests, ladies and gentlemen, the joint public session of Congress to canvass the votes for the duly elected President and Vice President in the elections of May 9, 2022, is honored and privileged to submit its report to the honorable members of the Senate and the House of Representatives in joint public session. Pursuant to the constitutional mandate of Congress and the instruction of the joint session of Congress, the Joint Committee convened on May 24, 2022 to canvass and tally the votes for the President and the Vice President. After just a day of canvassing, the task had been completed and we were set to proclaim the duly elected President and Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. The proceedings of the 2022 joint public session has been the fastest canvassing of the presidential and vice president elections results in the country since it adopted the automated election system. Foremost, due recognition must be given to the members of the Joint Committee who work round the clock to canvass the votes in order to proclaim the winners in the soonest possible time without sacrificing accuracy and fairness. The Senate panel headed by the Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Migs F. Zubiri, Senator Maria Lourdes Nancy S. Binay, Senator Franklin M. Drilon, Senator Amy R. Marcos, Senator Grace L. Poe, Senator Ralph G. Recto, Senator Pia S. Cayetano as members, and Senator Manuel Lito M. Lapid, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Aquilino Coco III, Senator Ronaldo Bato de la Rosa as alternate members. Likewise, we also take note of the diligence of the members of the House panel. Representative Jesus Crispin C. Remulla, Representative Abraham Bambol N. Tolentino, Representative Christine Singson Mihan, Representative Sharon S. Garin, Representative Manuel Jose Manix Dalipe, Representative Juliet Marie de Leon Ferrer as members, and Representatives Juan Pablo Rimpi P. Bondoc, Representative Johnny T. Pimentel, Representative Alfredo Jr. A. Garbin, and Representative Stella Luz A. Kimbo as alternate members. Credit must also be given to the officers and staff of the Commission on Elections who were able to immediately respond to the directives of the Joint Committee to explain the missing physically delivered COCs. The concerned Provincial Board of Canvassers, through their provincial election supervisors, were able to explain before the Joint Committee through virtual communication the whereabouts of the COCs. The chairpersons proceeded with the canvassing of the electronically transmitted COCs and required provincial election supervisors to submit the actual original copies of the COCs. We also commend the members of the Secretariat and the Joint Committee, both from the Senate and the House of Representatives, for their support and assistance, and the members of the media who were with us throughout the proceedings. We also express our gratitude and appreciation to the councils of the candidates who have manifested their graciousness of their respective candidates in recognizing the integrity of this election. Indeed, the healing of the country has begun, and we urge everyone to unite as a nation. Finally, credit is due to the more than 55 million Filipinos out of more than 66 million registered voters who, amidst the threat of the COVID-19, braved the long queues to exercise their right of suffrage, resulting in a record-breaking 83.11% voter turnout. Indeed, our democracy is alive and vibrant. The ever-growing political interest shown by our electorate is symbolic of the people's clamor for change, prosperity, and progress. The Joint Committee canvassed a total of 171 COCs. 132 COCs were electronically transmitted to the consolidated canvassing system by the Board of Canvassers of the provinces, cities, and overseas absentee voting countries. 39 COCs were physically delivered to the Senate of the Philippines from the Special Board of Canvassers for overseas absentee voting, local absentee voting, and detainee voting. With all the 171 COCs tallied, Senator Ferdinand Bong Romualdez Marcos Jr. and Davao City Mayor Sara Zimmerman Duterte obtained the highest number of votes among the candidates for President and Vice President, respectively. Senate Marcos Jr. received 31,629,783 votes, or a lead of more than 16,593,010 votes over his nearest rival. Vice President Maria Leonor Robredo. For the Vice Presidency, Mayor Sara Duterte received 32,208,417 votes and had a margin of over 22,879,210 votes over her closest rival, Senator Francis Nepomuceno Pangilinan. The 2022 electoral campaign period has been polarizing, with the country reeling from the impact of a global pandemic and other major calamities and disasters. It was evident that the nation was divided as to what direction to take in order to move forward. But the majority has spoken. It is high time that we listen to their voice and uphold the outcome of our democratic process. Let us heal the wounds of the political division, brace ourselves for the challenges ahead, and move forward as a strong and united Philippines. Let us be prepared to work harder for the nation and give our full support to the new leadership. At the end of the day, we are all Filipinos, and we want nothing than to see our beloved nation chart its own course and ultimately triumph. On this note, I urge the members of the Senate and the House of Representatives in this joint public session to approve the report of the Joint Committee embodying the resolution of both houses proclaiming Honorable Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos Jr. as President and Honorable Sara Zimmerman as Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas at ang buong sambayan ng Pilipino.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, out of my excitement of my speech, I forgot to make the same motion. On the part of the Senate panel, Mr. President, we respectfully recommend to Congress, as the National Board of Canvassers, in joint public session, approving the report of the Joint Committee and Resolution of both Houses, number 1, declaring the results of the national elections held on May 9, 2022 for the office of the President and Vice President, and proclaiming Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos and Inday Sara Zimmerman Duterte as the duly elected President and Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. I so move, Mr. President.
Majority Leader, we would like to
Yes.
entertain a formal motion for the
the vote.
adoption of the resolution.
Yes. Mr. President, we're now ready to proceed to vote for the adoption of the report and the accompanying resolution. On the part of the Senate, I move for the approval of the report of the Joint Committee and the adoption of the accompanying resolutions of both houses. Number 1.
Distinguished members of the Senate, there is a motion by the Majority Leader to approve the report of the Joint Committee and to adopt the accompanying resolution of both houses. Number 1. As many as are in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
As many as are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. On the part of the Senate, the report of the Joint Committee is approved and the resolution of both houses of number 1 is adopted.
The Majority Leader of the House of Representatives is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, we now proceed to vote for the adoption of the report and the accompanying resolution. On the part of the House of Representatives, I move for the approval of the report of the Joint Committee and the adoption of the accompanying resolution of both houses. Number 1.
Distinguished members of the House of Representatives, there is a motion by the Majority Leader to approve the report of the Joint Committee and to adopt the accompanying resolution of both houses. Number 1. As many as are in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye!
As many as are against, please say nay. The ayes have it. On the part of the House of Representatives, the report of the Joint Committee is approved and resolution of both houses number 1 is adopted.
Majority Leader of the Senate is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. On the part of the Senate, pursuant to the adopted resolution of both houses number 1, I have the honor to move for the proclamation of the duly elected President of the Republic of the Philippines and the duly elected Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. It was in a blank. It was blank, Mr. President. I wanted to make sure that one was not ahead of the other. So I was worried about that blank.
I have it.
Thank you, Mr.
Is
President.
there any objection? The chair hears none. On the part of the Senate, I proclaim Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. as the duly elected President of the Republic of the Philippines. And Sara Duterte as the duly elected Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines.
The Majority Leader of the House of Representatives is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the House of Representatives and pursuant to the adopted resolution of both houses, number 1, I have the honor to move for the proclamation of Ferdinand Bong Romualdez Marcos as the duly elected President of the Republic of the Philippines and Sara Duterte as the duly elected Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. On the part of the House of Representatives, I proclaim Ferdinand Bong Romualdez Marcos Jr. as the duly elected President of the Republic of the Philippines and Sara Duterte as the duly elected Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines.
We shall now proceed to the approval of the Journal of the Joint Public Session, and for this purpose, the Senate Majority Leader is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. On the part of the Senate, I move that the Honorable Senate President be authorized to approve the Journal of the Joint Public Session and that such approval shall be considered as the action of the Senate of the Philippines.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved.
The Majority Leader is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the House of Representatives, I move that the Honorable Speaker be authorized to approve the Journal of the Joint Public Session and such approval be considered as the action of the House of Representatives.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
The Senate Secretary is now directed to turn over the consolidation and canvassing system, the machine, and return all the ballot boxes, as well as all the pouches containing the certificates of canvass and election returns to the Commission on Elections. So directed.
President, on the part of the Senate, I move that we designate the members of the Senate panel for the Joint Committee as members of the Notification Committee.
If there is no objection, the chair appoints the members or designates the members of the Senate panel of the Joint Committee as designated members of the Notification Committee.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the House of Representatives, I move to designate the members of the House panel of the Joint Committee as members of the Notification Committee.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The members of the House panel of the Joint Committee are designated as members of the Notification Committee.
Mr. President,
Yes, go ahead, Majority Leader.
on the part of the Senate, I move to suspend the joint public session to notify the duly elected President and Vice President of the proclamation and invite them to the rostrum.
Is there no objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved. On the part of the Senate, the joint public session is suspended.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the House of Representatives, I move to suspend the joint public session to notify the duly elected President and Vice President of their proclamation and invite them to the rostrum.
Is there any objection? There being none, The motion is approved. On the part of the House of Representatives, the joint public session is suspended.
All right. Okay, guys. Tapos na ba yung bolahan nila? Okay. Hindi na ako masyadong nakinig eh. Huh? Kumain na lang ako. Bolahan lang sila dyan. Anyway. So, naiproklama na nila yung kanilang presidente at yung kanilang vice-presidente. Di ba? Okay, so congratulations sa inyo. Enjoy while it lasts. Okay, so ganito, no? So, ano ba susunod? So, naiproklama na nila, hindi ba magsasalita si BBM at saka si Sara? Ini-invite nila eh. Di ba? Siguro, medyo pahinga ng konti. So, maya-maya na naman, di ba? Bulahan na naman. Number 2. Wow. Tuwan-tuwa sila, no? Ang saya-saya nila, no? Ito sa Sibiri ko na pinagsasabi. Ha? So, sa rally raw ni dami raw tao. Pati yung mga naghihintay raw, ang haba raw. Milya-milya yung tao. Dami mong kabulahan, Sibiri. Hindi ko pa alam. Ay, naku naman. Anyway, so tuwan-tuwa ngayon si Mami Melby, at saka si Mami Lisa. Wow. Ang saya-saya nila ngayon, di ba? So, magkukulit na naman sila ng kanilang mga shoes. Yes. Okay? So, shoes. Anyway, tingin ko hindi na magkukulit si Mama Melby ng shoes. Kasi bakit? Hirapan na siya mag-high heels ngayon. So, mga flat shoes na lang ang kanyang ikukulit. Alright. Tama po ba? Okay, so ay nako. Napansin ko kanina, magkatabi dun si Mama Melby at saka si Mama Lisa. Magkaiba yung quotes yung dalawa. Si Mama Melby, alagang-alaga. Ang kinis, di ba? Kahit 80 na o 90 na. Di ba? Etong si Mama Lisa, hindi ko alam bakit gano'n ang kulay niya. At saka bakit gano'n, parang ganyan. Di ba? Hindi mo napansin mo. Anyway, so dahil busog ako, di ba, nakapangasar ako. Okay, sa mga ating kakamping dyan, huwag kayong malungkot. Okay? Hindi ko naman sinasabi maging masaya kayo. Okay? Tama lang. Oo, level lang. Parang gano'n. Kalma-kalma lang. Parang gano'n. Okay, hayaan mo. Okay? Yung pressure nasa kanila, wala sa akin. Okay? Kailangan patunayan nila ngayon na kaya nilang iahon. Okay? Itong bansa natin na lugmok. Okay? So, natin kung magagaling talaga sila. Di ba? So, nasa kanila ngayon ang burden. Wala sa atin. O, si parang Andrew E. Pumasok ka. Okay? So, yan na. Si Inday. Si Bato. Nandun sa likod ni Inday. Di ba? Si Bino. Makikita rin natin sa likod ng Bato. Right? Si JB. So, ito. Pagano pa, di ba? Ito naman, sip-sip natin siya. Tubiri. Okay, sige. Sipan lang yun. Alright. Sige, palakpakan mo yung sarili niya. Okay. Ganda yan. Okay. Si Inday. Uy. Long time no see, si GMA. Long time no see, GMA. So, nadagdagan. Okay. Pumasok na yung mga lolong. Okay. Dito sa ating crocodile farm. Dito sa Batas. Okay. Mga lolong. Pasok na. Huh? Ito na yung mga, ito na yung mga malakasan. Malalaki na ito. Alright. So, yung tanong nila, si BBM na pumasok nila. Sino yung kabayo mo? Ayan na. Tagal naman. Ang tagal. Ano yan? Ito na yung pinakamalaki. Ito na yung si Lolong. Yan na. Instinct na.
On the part of the Senate, the joint public session is resumed.
On the part of the House of Representatives, the joint public session is resumed.
elected President, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., to our duly elected Vice President, Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, congratulations. You have been placed by God in this position for a reason. May He lead you into your purpose and may you live it courageously. In every step you take, may God protect you. I pray for God's blessings for your leadership, for you and your family. Congratulations.
I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate our President-elect, Ferdinand Bong Romualdez Marcos Jr. Maligayang pagbati po, President BBM. To our Vice President-elect, Sara Zimmerman Duterte Carpio, congratulations, Maminday. Congratulations also, and thank you to the Joint Canvassing Committee, led by House Majority Leader Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, and Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri, for the swift and fair canvassing that guaranteed the people's faith in our electoral process. Thank you to all the honorable members of the Joint Canvassing Committee and the Secretariat for your hard work and invaluable support in ensuring a historic canvassing that was finished in 2 days. Ngayong araw na ito, Congress bears witness to the unity of our country, a true partnership between the North and the South that has become the unity of all corners of the country. In previous elections, Filipinos voted for President and Vice President from different parties. Finally, this year, we will learn the importance of voting for a tandem, a uni-team that can work together, a uni-team that can collaborate with each other, and a uni-team that can push for a shared national agenda. The people have spoken decisively. This is not just your sweeping electoral victory. This is an overwhelming victory for all Filipinos. This is a victory of our democracy. The gracious acts extended by the camps of other candidates yesterday, which greatly facilitated our proceedings, show the best of what Filipinos can be, even in the most divisive of elections. Nakikita po natin ngayon ang tunay na lakas sa pagkakaisa at pagsasanib puwersa. We need a catalyst, and there is no better example than the unifying force that we have seen and we will see in a government led by President BBM and VP Inday Sara. The Philippines looks forward to your leadership. It is my great honor and privilege to congratulate you both today. Mabuhay po kayo. Secretary General.
Ladies and gentlemen of the 18th Congress, Honorable Sara Zimmerman Duterte, the duly elected Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines.
May we request the duly elected Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte Carpio to proceed to the rostrum.
May we also request the family of the duly elected Vice President, Inday Sara Duterte, to accompany her to the rostrum, please.
Masama daw bata ni Tito. Oh. Tito so. Hindi yan. Actually yan. Hindi sasama daw niya kung tama. Ako, nag-chismisan pa rin. Ano ba yan?
The Senate Secretary.
Ladies and gentlemen of the 18th Congress, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., the duly elected President of the Republic of the Philippines.
May we request the duly elected President, President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., to proceed to the rostrum.
May we also request the family of the duly elected President Ferdinand Bong Romualdez Marcos Jr. to accompany him to the rostrum.
Ako, dami nila. Sige. Natuwa sila.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Out of all the excitement, we forgot that we have to adjourn. Therefore, Mr. President, on the part of the Senate, I move that we adjourn this historic joint public session.
On the part of the Senate, this joint public session is hereby adjourned.
Majority Leader of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the House, I move to join the joint session.
On the part of the House of Representatives, this historic joint public session is adjourned.
Alright, so tapos na po, no? So, yan po ang proklamasyon ng Congressional Proclamations para kay Bongbong Marcos Jr. at kay Sara Duterte Carpio. VP for VP. Anyway, masakit man yan, wala tayong magagawa. Okay. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, from pink. Minsan, talaga, dumarating sa buhay natin na kahit anong sigaw natin at kahit na anong pilit natin, ay may mga bagay talaga na wala na tayong magagawa. Okay? So, ang pinakamagandang gawin natin ay manahimik, magdasal at ipaubaya sa Panginoon ang mga susunod na kabanata. Okay? So, tayo po ay manalangin. Okay? Para sa ating bayan, para sa ating kinabukasan, anak natin at mga ating susunod na saling-lahi. Okay? Okay, I wish I wish good luck. Okay? Sana magtagumpay po si newly elected Bongbong Marcos Jr. sa kanyang trabaho bilang presidente ng Pilipinas. Okay? So ganun talaga. Okay, at the end, kumbaga nga, isa pa rin ang ating bayan, isang ating bansa. So, siyempre gusto natin magtagumpay kung sino man maging presidente. Pero may pero yan. Pero, kung sablay kayo sa pamamahala ninyo, kung abusado kayo sa pamamahala ninyo, at saka kung sinasa isang tabi nyo ang konstitusyon, okay? Okay, ibang usapan po yan. Kami po ay maingay, okay? Kami po ay hindi natatakot. Yan po ang tatandaan ninyo. Okay, so good luck sa Pilipinas. Ano? Congratulations sa mga bumoto. Okay, kay BBM. Congratulations din kay BBM, kay Sara Duterte po. Tayo po ay magpapaalam na. Okay, so basta, okay. Manalangin po tayo at bahala na po ang Diyos sa mga susunod na kabanata nitong eleksyon na to. No? Ngayon, kung may mga problema, alam naman ng legal team ni VP Lenny kung anong gagawin. Basta tayo kay VP Lenny, susuporta tayo sa kanyang mga programa sa susunod na mga endeavor niya, katulad po ng Angat Buhay NGO na idudunsad niya sa Hulyo 1. Okay? So, tayo po ay makikiisa. Basta po, ikagaganda po ng ating bayan. So, yun lang po ang ating hiling na maging maganda ang ating bayan. Dahil pag ang bayan po ay gumanda, lahat po tayo kasama dyan. Tandaan po natin. Okay, maraming salamat po sa inyo. Ito po si Roy ng Pinoy Pink Ninja Movement. Okay, based here in Japan. Okay, sa mga susunod na araw, abangan po natin ang mga kabanata. Sa mga hindi pa ho nag-subscribe, again, subscribe po kayo dito sa ating channel. Dito po sa Roy the Destroyer. Okay? Like po natin, subscribe natin, i-share po natin itong ating channel na to. Para po, mas lumawak tayo. Para sa mga susunod na laban, handang-handa na tayo, malawak na tayo. At, okay, mag-iipon tayo ng enerhiya. Okay? At itutok natin ang enerhiya na yan sa pagtulong sa tao. Okay? Yan po yung Angat Buhay NGO po. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. At hanggang sa muli. Maraming salamat. Po si Roy. Again, ang Pinoy Pink. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye po sa inyo.